It's early in the morning, guys. It's too early in the morning. I got up earlier than I normally get up, like way earlier. I was sleeping calmly like a bug on a rug. Ever heard of that? Like a bug in a rug. Those of you in Europe, you don't have bugs. You don't. And then the dogs jumped on me. Marty jumped on my head. Willow jumped on my arm. They started licking. They had to go out and pee. So I let them out to pee. Who is this guy? Dogs? No. I can't read that name. You look at that name and tell me. He's playing the piece. I'm waking up now, guys. He's playing the piece at 4. We're going to feature some German TDs today, okay? Tier 9, the 2 German TDs, the one with the turret and the one without the turret. And okay, who is this guy? It's DHGSHJ11414. Why don't you just change your name to Bob or Bill or, Frederick? Mortimer. I'm going to call you Mortimer. Mortimer is playing the There's the Burask is in his spot. And I read your comments. Look, a tornado. The weather. Some weather happening here. I read your guys' comments on yesterday's video. Yesterday's video, I ventured into a discussion a little bit about statistics and averages and the difference between overall average and a specific measurement. And I didn't rehearse it or research it, or I just pulled numbers out of my ass. And some people are so touchy about certain things. It's funny, eh? Some topics for some reason these days are have controversy. Why the hell would be talking about the weather and the fact that the Earth's getting warmer be controversial? It's controversial. People trying to sell you things because of that, but it's not controversial that the Earth's getting warmer. It's freaking warm where I am. Because you shouldn't talk about that stuff when you're doing World of Tanks video, because it's not, just stick to gaming commentary. Well, if you want just gaming commentary, there's lots of other channels that will just talk about the gun depression and the potential for burst damage. Okay, I'm starting to get just one more sip and I'll be right on track. Okay. As a matter of fact, I'm going to talk about it just for a little bit more, just for like 2 minutes, okay, guys? And then we're going to enjoy this. Look at the bat chat says, my goal was to spot 3. Job done. He's doing a mission. Well done. Well done, bat chat 12T. Here's an example, because I was listening to a technical talk by a guy from NASA. What was his name? Something Schmidt? I can't remember the gentleman's name, but he works at NASA, and he works in the department that looks at climate. And he's a smart guy. He not only looks at the climate of Earth, he looks at the climate of interstellar bodies, like the moons of Jupiter and different planets and stuff. He's really technically very smart. And he was saying, funny, because I talked about it yesterday, and then I kind of Googled a little bit of information last night. And he was saying basically what I said, but very much more intelligently. And he gave this information. I'll just paraphrase a couple of things he said. He was saying the same thing, that the scientists sometimes miss the mark when they're trying to relay information, because most scientists are geeks, and they do the numbers and they do the thing, and then they publish technical papers, right? And that's what they do. That's what scientists do, and they really don't have any other interest other than that, doing their technical work, generally speaking. And then political leaders take that information, and media takes that information and tries to spin it. And so this guy was saying that scientists are not doing a good job explaining the world getting warmer. They have these conventions and stuff where they discuss Should they limit the Earth's warming to 1.13 degrees in the next 20 years, or 1.62 degrees in the next? And I was saying people's eyes glaze over, like, holy shit. Most people don't understand. They seem like such minuscule numbers, and he's talking. Those are averages, right? And let me get to the point here. 2 minutes, okay? And then we'll go on with the World of Tanks commentary. He explained the difference between average number and then specific number on Earth. And this is the example he used. Okay, 20,000 years ago. Oh, armor not hit. He hit a Boroskan, armor not hit. I got distracted. Squirrel! 20,000 years ago, we were in an ice age on Earth. All right? Most of North America, or at least half of North America, was covered by hundreds of feet of ice, glacier, because it snowed more in the winter. More snow accumulated in the winter for many, many years than could melt in the summer. And polar ice caps moved down and covered a large part of North America. As a matter of fact, the city of New York, is anyone here watching from New York? The city of New York was covered in ice 20,000 years ago during the Ice Age, and you can go to Central Park in New York, and you can go for walks there and see certain rocky outcrops, and I think they still take school children there to see the evidence, the scouring on rock faces. What is it called? Glacier scouring? Striations, I think they call them. That glaciers imparted on some rocks that you can go and view in Central Park. As the glaciers receded slowly, they scraped. They were carrying rocks and rubble, and they scraped along rock formations. There's tons of this in Canada and the Canadian Shield. You can see from aerial photographs, you can see the patterns where the glaciers receded. It's really cool, actually, in aerial photographs. But you can see this in New York City. So 20,000 years ago, New York City was covered in ice. All right? Just think about that. It's kind of cool, right? No one disputes that. Scientists have figured this out, looking at the geological record. So this guy made the point that what was Earth's average temperature 20,000 years ago during an ice age? And he compared the average temperature of the Earth during the ice age to the average temperature of the Earth before the Industrial Revolution, like 80 years ago on Earth. Okay, the average temperature of Earth 80 years ago compared to the average temperature of Earth during the Ice Age. And this NASA scientist he said that the average temperature of Earth in the Ice Age was 8 degrees lower than the average temperature of Earth before the Industrial Revolution. 8 degrees on average. Pretty cool, eh? I thought it would be a lot more, but he said it was 8 degrees. I don't know how they figured it out. You can argue whether he's full of shit or not, but the average temperature of the Earth was 8 degrees cooler 20,000 years ago during the Ice Age than it was 80 years ago before the Industrial Revolution, on average. But most of the Earth, the oceans and the central part of it, were about the same temperature during the Ice Age as they were 80 years ago before the Industrial Revolution. Now, New York, specifically New York, the temperature, the specific temperature of New York, the average, if you just measured it in New York, was not 8 degrees colder 20,000 years ago. It was a lot more than 8 degrees because it was covered in ice. The average temperature of New York 20,000 years ago was like 0 or below, and the average temperature 80 years ago is, I don't know, whatever it is, like 30, 40, 50. So the average temperature in one specific spot on Earth, New York, in this example, was vastly, hugely different Ice Age to 80 years ago. But the average temperature of Earth, 8 degrees. And that's the phenomena of looking at the bell curve, right? The average versus the extreme. The average temperature of, say, the middle of the Pacific Ocean during the Ice Age in 80 years ago, that temperature, probably not that much different. Isn't that cool? And then he went on to explain that since the Industrial Revolution started, and now, this about 80, 100-year period that we've been, we've mechanized and we're emitting the CO2 and stuff, the Earth's warmed 2 degrees, scientists think. These are numbers. This is the NASA guy saying this. So 2 degrees doesn't sound like much, but he said that is 1/4 of an ice age unit. 8 degrees lower means ice age, and now we've gone 2 degrees in the other direction. 1/4 of the amount that it would take to go to ice age. Which I thought that was a pretty cool way of describing it, because 2 degrees doesn't sound like much on average on the whole Earth. But if you live in London, I'm going to use London as an example now. In London this summer, well played, buddy, well played. I'm sorry I missed your game, but I'm almost done here. You did over 8,000 damage. Let's keep going. And I'm expecting some comments in the comment section from those of you who live in London, okay? Because this summer, this is how this all started, guys, I'm sorry. In London this summer, almost everyone's trying to install air conditioning. Some airports were closed because the tarmac melted. The tube, the subway that they have in there, had to be shut down because the rails were buckling because they were put too close together. And think about it. Those tubes were built during the Industrial Revolution like 50 years ago, and they've been fine for 50 years. And now for the first time it got so hot that the steel expanded beyond what engineers thought was possible, and they buckled and they had to stop the trains. Any of you live in London? So you cannot deny that in London it's hotter by more than 2 degrees this summer. And that's the difference between specific measurement, because London does not fall in the bell curve, it falls off on the extreme edge, as opposed to an average. Same with World of Tanks. We're going to get into World of Tanks now. Same with statistics in World of Tanks, right? Here we go. Jagdtiger. You look up the average damage for a Jagdtiger in a game, and it's, I don't know what the number is. I'm going to pull the number out of my ass, okay? The average damage for a Jagdtiger in a game is 2,304. That's the average damage for a Jagdtiger. I made that up, okay? Don't go in the comment section. Claus, I checked. It's not 2,304. It's 1,962. Whatever it is. That's the average over the whole player base. But a good player on a good map fighting Muppets can do 7,000 damage. That's an extreme result. And the potential extreme results are governed by factors like how many Muppets, what map, does he spam premium ammo? Lots of factors. You guys know all the factors. What the ingredients to having an epic game? There's lots of factors. You change some of those factors. For instance, you buff the Jagdtiger. Okay, you give it 10% more DPM. Right? You decrease the reload, so you give it 10% more DPM. All of a sudden, you look at the extreme results, and it used to be 7,000 was the top damage game for you. Snap! 7,000 was the top damage game for a Jagdtiger, but you buff it, give it 10% more DPM, and all of a sudden the extreme best game is going to be 9,000. It'll be better, it'll be higher, because it's got more DPM. So in that perfect situation where the Muppets sit in front of his gun, boom, 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 go back to your room, he gets to pump out 10% more DPM. Right? But on average, what's going to happen to the average damage for this thing? It's going to go from 2,304 to 2,323. It's going to go up a little bit. Because there's still going to be a lot of Muppets that play it. You're still going to have shit teams. You're going to get melded down in the average because of all the other factors. The weight of the world that crushes your spirit. And I said I was only going to take 2 minutes. How long did I take, guys? Come on. Do you still love me? Who is this guy? Tandik. Tandik 10 from the EHW clan. Shout out to you guys. I don't know, guys. I just like, I love contemplating these complicated things in my mind, right? I've learned, oh, up the ass. Oh, I also like to see someone give it to another tank up the ass. That's also fun. And he still doesn't know. Daddy, I felt something in my poopy. Oh, Daddy. Getting shot up the ass is also entertaining. The coffee's kicking in, guys. The coffee's kicking in. In case you don't know, this video is about, we're contrasting the two Tier 9 German TDs, okay? One with a turret, one without a turret, okay? That's what this video is about, technically speaking. But I love to contemplate some of these complicated topics, and I've learned not to just dismiss them or make up my mind just ipso facto without actually thinking about things, right? It's easy to just say, it's all, and just make up your mind on something without actually, I got Marty here when he jumped. Marty! Got Marty here. The motion is trying to circle him, but the motion stopped because the motion stopped just to give him time to catch up. The motion is trying to angle his armor, but he's not doing a very good job. You've angled it at 90 degrees. This is not a good angle for your motion. And now you're going to take... What's his weak spot, guys? What's his weak spot? Well, that's his weak spot. Would you like to see my weak spot? Hey, here you go. I'm ready. I'm ready. Motion. Yeah, okay. Hey, there's my weak spot. Oh, well done, my friend. He's up at 5,614 damage. And he's ammo racked. This is an extreme result, okay? This is not an average game. And that's another thing to remember. Let's actually talk about World of Tanks here. All the videos you see on my channel and some of the other content creator channels, you are not watching average games, average results. You're always watching an extreme. So you end up with an idea of what's possible in this game, and when you play, you may feel discouraged thinking, oh, I never get a game like that. Well, it's not surprising because we are not watching average games. If I just showed average games, like real average games, like if I showed games where this guy gets 2,000 damage, not very many people would watch. Because you'd say, well, that looks like my game. I want to watch something where I learn how to play better. And really, you're not learning how to play better. You're just watching some extreme results. And when you play, you just have to try your best, do the right things, try and get the right map positioning, and hope that there are some extreme circumstances. Muppets on the enemy team, Muppets on your team. People don't shoot premium ammo at you. You get the right map. Yada, yada, yada. Okay, this coffee is kicking in. So what do you guys think? Huh? I'm going to read the comments today, and I'm going to put the little heart emojis on the good comments. Let's get into the discussion, okay? What are we discussing? Oh yeah, the difference between a Tier 9 TD with a turret and a Tier 9 TD without a turret. Who had the better game? Were any of you concentrating on the game? Or were you listening to the stupid man that was drinking coffee? Or were you staring at the lady in the red dress? Are you actually going to cap? You've done 5,600 damage and you're going to cap? Where's the Scorpion? He's going to cap. See, this is an average... are you happy now? Huh? Are you happy? He capped. That's pretty exciting, wasn't it? Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave some comments in the comments section. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already to help the channel grow. Fantastic game there. Fandic. And I will catch you guys on the next one.